The Chamber of Art and Curiosities, Kunst and Wunderkammer, is a cabinet of curiosities created by Ferdinand II, Archduke of Austria in the 16th century. Ferdinand II, son of Emperor Ferdinand I, was one of history's most prominent collectors of art. The cultured humanist from the House of Habsburg accommodated his world-famous collections in a museum built specifically for that purpose. 1572 to 1583. Supplement 1589. Making Schloss Ambras Innsbruck, Ambras Castle, the oldest museum in the world, as the only Renaissance Kunstkammer of its kind to have been preserved at its original location. The Chamber of Art and Curiosities represents an unrivaled cultural monument, representing an excellent example of a late Renaissance encyclopedic collection of its genre. It continues to be displayed at Ambras Castle in Innsbruck, the same setting since its inception. Ferdinand II, like many other rulers of the Renaissance, was interested in promoting the arts and sciences. He spent considerable time and money on his unique collection and converted the medieval Ambras Castle into a contemporary palace to display his possessions. Beside the Chamber of Art and Curiosities, Ambras Castle is home to a famous collection of armories and early modern weapons feature masterpieces of the European armorer's art from the time of Emperor Maximilian I to Emperor Leopold I. The Strasse collection of glass boasts precious glassware from the Renaissance and Baroque periods. The Habsburg Portrait Gallery, laid out on 3 floors, is open to visitors in summer. The paintings include works by famous painters such as Hans Bergmair, Lucas Cranach the Younger, Giuseppe Arcimboldo, Peter Paul Rubens, Diego Velázquez, and others. Today, these collections at Ambras are administered by the KHM Museumsverband as the Kunsthistorisches Museum, Vienna. The collection, a variety of uncommon objects are on display, including a wood carving of Death by Hans Leinberger, goblets, coral collections and artifacts, glass figures, centerpieces, mechanical toys, clocks and various instruments. Also, Asiatica of the period are included with a suit of samurai armor, a ruku bowl, and a silk painting from China. Paintings. The Ambras collection contains a number of unique portraits, and some of the subjects were perceived at the time as wonder of nature. The painters are not known. Giants and dwarfs, people with hirsutism and others are shown, including Vlad equals Vlad III. The Impaler's depiction was painted about 1 century after his reign and represents one of his earliest portraits. It is intended not only to show him as a ruler but also to be a psychogram of evil. Petrus Gonzalez equals. The collection has a painting of Petrus Gonzalez and his family, as well as other people who display an extreme form of hirsutism, also called Ambras syndrome in 1933 in reference to its depiction at this collection. The life of Pedro Gonzalez has been well chronicled as he became famous during his lifetime on account of his condition. Born in 1537 in Tenerife, he first came to the court of Henry II, King of France, who sent him to the court of Margaret of Parma, regent of the Netherlands. He got married there and some of his children were also afflicted with hypertrichosis universalis and painted. His family became an object of medical inquiry by Ulisse Aldrovandi among others. Gonzalez eventually settled in Italy. The paintings of Gonzalez by an anonymous German artist were likely created from drawings, rather than a live sitting. The paintings were titled Der Rauchmann zu Munichen, the wild, hairy man from Munich, for an Old Middle High German word Ruck meaning wild, hairy. because of the origin of the painting. Not because Gonzalez spent any time in Munich. A man with disabilities equals. This is an unusual and unique late 16th century painting of a man with a physical disability. In typical portrait style, he gazes at the viewer, while the top of his head is covered by a hat. A fashionable neckpiece separates his head from his naked body, which lies chest down on a dark green sheet. His limbs appear withered and useless. Originally the portrait was partially obscured by a sheet of red paper, which the observer would lift to reveal the subject's body. Observers indicated that they were shocked. The man was probably a jester at a court. An extensive analysis of the painting has been published. See external links. Gregor Bárcsi. This portrait represents a Hungarian hussar. By tradition, Gregor Bárcsi, who apparently survived a piercing injury with a lance to the right side of his face. The injury may have occurred during a jousting tournament or while fighting the Ottoman Turks. The painting was created by an unknown artist in the 16th century and first listed in 1622. Gallery. Official website www.schlossambras-innsbruck.et. Schonweis v. Myrna C. Das Bildnis eines Behinderten Manns. Kulturgeschichtliche Studies über Behinderung und ihre Aktualität. A detailed study in German about a man with disabilities.